here's a fun thing to talk about, and it's not really that popular anymore. So I kind of want to get everybody's thoughts, like what happened to it, or do they do it, or how it works. So give me some input here. Allowance, okay? I grew up watching Andy Griffith Show, and Opie always had an allowance, you know? And of course, the allowance was based on whether or not he did or did not do his chores for the week. I did not grow up with an allowance, and that the whole concept was kind of confusing to me as a child. I remember thinking this. But now that I am older, I understand why I didn't. But I still want to know what other people think. Like, as of right now, my kids don't get an allowance, like not like a set thing. But they do get the opportunity to do extra jobs and earn $1 or $2 or whatever they can do around the house to kind of pitch in to help, but also make a little money. And I do this to teach them the value of money. I want them, if they want that new remote control car, then well, let's save up your money and you can go buy a remote control car. I feel like when allowance depends on a child's performance, it's going to cause conflicts. Like, not every time my 7-year-old's going to remember to do his chores, so then I'm constantly going to be reminding him, which is just going to put us back in square one, because the whole point is to teach responsibility. And then, of course, you can always do the whole, well, I'm going to take your allowance away if you're not going to get your chores done. Again, you're still reminding them. But secondly, that kind of starts like a negotiation process that could be easily taken in the boy's mind or kid's mind. Well, if I don't do half of my chores, then I only get half of my allowance, etc. Not to mention, on the parental side of things, if you're using allowance to like promote good behavior, then I don't feel like you're really getting to the heart of the issue in the child. But I also recognize that every family is different, every parent is different, and every child is different as to how they respond. So I guess my question is, does anybody out there still do like a weekly allowance or a monthly allowance or whatever the case may be? And how is that working for you? Or are there a lot of people like me that just don't do allowance? And I mean, I was told when I was a kid that my allowance was a roof over my head and food on my table. Seems fair considering as an adult we have to pay for the roof overhead and food on our table.